I don't plan on having another relationship, ladies, so...
She's done.
She's done. They've killed her. Bitch boy Benjamin killed her.
It was a last straw.
Oh, my God.
We're your hosts, Tara, Nora, and Allie, and you're listening to Bad Advice Only.
We're just three New York City rats talking about scurrying around the Big Apple. Here, we make the New York City mistakes so you don't have to.
We're begging you. Leave us a review and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bad Advice Only NYC. We release new episodes every Monday, so stay tuned, rats. I was researching some more things about ghosting, and I guess it's a trend now, which I haven't heard of, so I don't know how trendy it is, but maybe we make it one, which is the Ghosting Olympics, which is kind of how you stack rank how bad ghosting is and the different types of ghosting.
Love that.
And then I figured we could just add in our anecdotal feedback.
Excellent.
Around ghosting.
And quick clarification, you were talking about the text messaging, relationship ghosting, not hauntings.
Right, yeah. No, in dating ghosting, not boo.
Right.
But first, before we get into that, Nora, you had an announcement for the classroom.
Thank you. I do have a very important announcement.
For the classroom?
I'm very excited, and I think you two are going to be very excited as well. It is official. I no longer have chlamydia.
Woo! That's big news.
I would have never guessed that.
I would have just thought this would be an infinite feedback loop of chlamydia for the rest of your life.
To be fair,
she
I
has
only
bad
had
eyesight
it.
now, right?
My
You're
chlamydia
losing
is
your
not...
Syphilitic insanity and syphilitic blindness. You have syphilis?
I don't have... I'm also negative for syphilis. I'm negative for everything. I just thought you guys would be more interested in the chlamydia.
She is still wearing her glasses, though. So can you get chlamydia of the eye?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't think I have that.
Listeners, she's still blind rat, not baby rat.
I just don't have new contacts yet, y'all.
You'll still have
So
chlamydia.
there's good
to
news.
me.
She's no longer blind. And
I am blind.
she doesn't have chlamydia.
I don't have chlamydia. The thing is, I really only had it the one time. It's just that you're supposed to wait 3 months to test, and I got
Could you
that
educate
wrong.
the rats on that?
Okay, rats.
Because no one knows this.
No one knows. Every fucking man I told they have chlamydia kept going, well, I'm clear now. And I said, no, you're fucking not. It takes 3 months. Anyway, time for a lesson in sexual health from your resident rat sexual health teacher.
Rat whore.
You can refer to me as Miss Rat Whore. When you get chlamydia, you take your antibiotics, and then you need to wait 3 months to test again. Your test will not be reliable for 3 months.
How would one know if they have chlamydia?
You get tested for chlamydia.
Oh, you're looking for symptoms?
You want to know?
Yeah, because you didn't have any.
Wow.
And I think that's an important piece of information.
That's true. Most especially women, do not have any symptoms at all. To be fair, in hindsight, I did have symptoms.
You did have.
I forgot, though, because we were at Lake Week, and I thought I had a yeast infection.
Bumpies.
No, I didn't have bumpies. Remember when we were at the airport and
he had bumpies.
The man had bumpies. But remember, we were at the airport and it was on our whole saga, which we talked about on the podcast, where Allie and I got stuck at the airport for 8 hours. But I was really itchy that day and I thought I had a yeast infection. That actually was probably the mids.
The mids talking.
Yep.
Huh.
Anyway, I'm clean.
I wonder if that guy that tried to charge you for his City MD testing bill is going to hit you back with a 3-month checkup bill.
Did we ever tell the rats
Yeah,
that?
but to remind the rats, Nora let a gentleman know that she had tested positive for chlamydia.
Very nice of me. Did not have to do it.
Yes,
We
you
didn't
did.
have sex. I blew him.
You
It
had
was slap
chlamydia of the mouth.
It was still kind of me. A lot of people wouldn't have done it. Anyway, he asked me to pay his medical bill for it, and he didn't even get it. He was negative.
Yeah, I mean the audacity to ask for some assistance in your bill pay.
Did you block him? Because that's a form of ghosting, so that's actually a great transition.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Did
Go
you really
on.
block him?
Yeah.
Funny.
Because what the fuck am I going to do with him? He wants money from me, apparently. That's not going to work.
Okay, so there's this ghosting Olympics, which I had never heard of.
Same.
And it's basically creating a ranking system for different ghosting techniques, award medals for, and these are just a few of the most common, and I'll explain them in a second. The fade out, the sudden disappearance, and the brutal block. Which I think we've all been a part of or have experienced.
Yeah.
So you have the fade out. this is the first event of the Olympics,
I'd
if
say
you
this
will.
is the most common.
Probably,
This
right?
is the gradual withdrawal of communication where it slowly tapers off messages until they cease entirely.
Yeah, I've seen this. I've done
That's
this.
like a slow death.
Yeah.
What's happening in this scenario, it's like you or they start taking longer and longer to respond. Next thing you know, it's been a couple of days. You still send that text because you're like, maybe. Like, maybe.
Sounding like me and the dad right now, the more
like-
that you're positioning it.
It's like maybe if the ideal, optimal occasion arose,
I'm
I'd
really
fuck them.
horny.
But, like, I'm not going to make the effort.
I said, for me, this is my favorite way to go. Like, I think it's just easier.
That's how
like,
you want to be dumped, basically?
no, like if I'm doing this.
Oh, yeah, I do
Like
this, too.
if I was being awarded the medal in this
I
event.
disagree that you're a fade out.
You've
I used to be
grown.
the Bruta block.
You've grown a lot. She used to brute block everyone for no reason, even
Yeah.
if she just didn't feel like going on the date that night or it
Yeah.
conflicted with a different plan. She'd just give the whole man up. She'd
Yeah.
just say,
But
never
I don't
mind.
see it as being a fade out because you text 100 people a day.
That's true.
I just
Allie
cannot imagine.
talks to so many,
You
and not
talk
even
to s-
men, but people.
People.
It's incredible. I don't know how you
And I
keep
ta-
up.
I take days getting back to people.
You don't, though.
You're
I do.
pretty
I do. There are
responsive
some people.
to
I
me.
respond to you guys because I like you. There are some people I take
Waiting for
days
that. I've been
responding
waiting
to.
for your fade
Yeah,
out.
where's
on
our
me.
when's our fade out? Do you think I'm fading you out since I'm so bad at responding?
I used to think that until I realized I have to literally talk to whoever's living with you. First it was basement boy, then it was bitch boy Benjamin, then now it's Tara. Like whoever your keeper is, that's who I communicate with.
I am your
a
keeper.
Yeah.
No, in any essence, like you just block me. Like in my mind, I'm blocked from you
Okay.
because you don't respond.
I do respond just
In a
when
group
it's
setting,
in
not
group
one-on-one.
settings. One-on-one, I'm just like, I know I'll see you. So
It
I'm like,
also
we'll get
depends
there.
with you though, because if you're not in a relationship, you're way more likely to respond than if you're in a relationship, then you're dead
Yeah.
to the world.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm like losing friends over it. I just know I'll see you.
It is interesting that somehow you turn into that girl without the shit. Like, we don't shit on you for turning into that girl. Just like,
Feel free. I don't plan on having another relationship, ladies, so
she's
So
done.
She's
I'm
done.
done.
They've killed her. Bitch boy Benjamin killed her.
it was a last straw.
Oh my God.
I'm good.
I also said this reminded me of that time that I went out on that date with that guy, and it was like my first date. This is when I got stood up recently, and I put on like that full face of makeup and wanted to Venmo him for how
Yes.
much makeup
Venmo
I spent putting on my
request him.
face. But we were talking, and then he did the same thing. Like we had been talking nonstop for like 3 days, and then as soon as the day came to go out, it was like one text here, and then I'd be like, I don't think we're going out. I remember texting you guys being like, I don't think this is going to happen. Like, I should just cancel. You guys were like, no, go. And then I get like another text from him being like, yeah. And then as soon as I go to open the door of the restaurant, he's like, yeah, so work. And then I never heard from him again.
So rude.
What a loser.
Fucking rude.
Yeah.
Virgin.
That's a virgin.
Virgin.
Never met a woman in their life.
Virgin.
I
Hot
love
virgin.
calling men virgins. It's
Yeah.
it's the funniest thing.
I told you guys about how I Karen'd and called the guy a tiny dick virgin for parking in that guest spot.
Oh, yeah.
You did. Care to share?
No.
Not right now. Hit me later for our Patreon. That's a pay to subscribe type of story.
It really is.
Tiny dicked virgin.
I also told him his dead grandmother would be disappointed in him.
All right,
Oh,
moving on.
my
Okay, so the
God.
sudden disappearance is the next meddling event. This
Okay.
is abruptly ceasing all communication without warning or explanation.
That one means they've met someone else that they're dating. That's what
Yeah,
that
I
means.
agree.
And they like them, and they don't want to fuck it
and
up.
they don't care about
Yeah,
it because
they-
you haven't made any
Yep.
kind of attachment.
But what do they do in that scenario when they're still receiving your texts?
Ignore them.
They're ignoring them, yes, of course, but like their new love interest might be seeing these texts
that
come
always
through.
happens to me when I'm in a relationship because dudes just will resurface years and years later. So
That's true.
every time I'm in a relationship, I'll get a random, 5 or 6 texts from like random guys I hooked up with 6 years ago, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And if I'm serious about usually I just ignore it because I'm like, why would I even respond? So
Yeah.
I am doing that.
But I don't think women are doing that. I don't think women are resurfacing years later
No,
texting.
boys do that.
boys.
We don't revisit
No, they do that.
hard.
Women do?
Yeah, when I was with Rave Daddy, at least at the very beginning of our relationship, he received like 3 different messages from previous people.
Do you think he was just cheating on you, though?
No, it was like
I think for boys it's probably more recent, and for girls, like guys will really come
like
out
I
of
would say
woodwork.
like 3 years into our relationship, that wasn't happening.
Yeah, I see.
I
Okay.
mean, to my knowledge, but
I mean, I literally got hit up by a guy from 2017 the other night.
Right.
Like, that's how crazy boys are.
And she
No,
slept
guys
with
are
him, listener.
I did.
She did a 2017 to a 2025.
I was like a novelty. I was like, I'm curious. Because we were 24
What'd that
when we
dick
had
do
sex
now?
last. So much better. So much better.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, he's grown. Not in
his
size.
penis.
No, it's actually quite small.
there's hope for that.
I didn't mention it to him. Shout out. Gave him some of our merch, though, so maybe he'll listen.
Did
Yeah.
you? Have you been talking to him lately? Did you tell him I'm sorry for blocking him?
No.
Listener Nora tried to pawn me off on him a few months back, and it wasn't for me, so I blocked him.
I forgot.
Which
That
is
was so
next
funny.
on my category, actually, the brutal block. Immediately blocking the other person on all platforms, leaving them completely cut off, which I did do to 510.
I think in some ways that's the healthiest thing to do. Like, I think that's the right, like, I don't think it's right to be like, oh, I'll leave the door open, like, just in case my relationship doesn't work out and I want to, like, go get my old news back. Like, I think once you're done with someone, you should just cut it and just be like,
Didn't you just talk about 2017
I
revisiting?
didn't reach out to him.
You reached out to her.
And so I was like, well, I'm not doing anything.
Okay. I need you two to pick up your phones, though, because now I was going to say,
Oh, God,
I wrote
Allie.
also me to the brutal
Are
block.
we about to look up how many blocks
How many
we
people
have?
are on your block
Oh my
list? Because
God.
I counted mine, and yikes.
Okay.
How do I go to
Just
it?
go
Search
to
block
block
contacts.
contacts. Do, 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 do,
Oh my God.
do,
The funniest thing about
do,
mine, there
do.
there are many, but they almost all have these giant red X's
Oh my God.
in the contact. Because before I block them, they get 3 strikes.
The majority, if I had to put a percentage on it really quick, 10% have names. The remaining 90% are just random numbers. Oh, and there was 1 email address in there. I don't know.
Block contacts. There it is.
Oh my God. I've never seen ours before.
Okay, before we say our numbers aloud of how many block contacts we have, I'd like to just read off some of the names I have saved in the contacts here. Just a friend.
What the fuck?
Creep. Meat freezer joke. And I remember that one specifically. He said, hey, are you a freezer? Because I'd love to stick my meat in there.
Oh.
Yeah, so anyway, what's your number, girls?
55.
Oh,
Mine's 55 too. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Mine's 27.
Aw, Nora.
But I do my
She's been in
X
so many
system.
relationships.
Guys.
How cute are we?
How cute are we?
Oh
I
my
had like 5
God.
email addresses too.
Really? Yeah, I don't know what
blocks
that's about.
emails?
That's weird.
What scares me though, and I do know I do this, a past Tara did this, I would delete their name and then block the number because I didn't want anything. But I do have this guy's name in my phone. I guess I didn't block him, but his name in my phone is Nah, fuck this guy. Because when I used to go on regular like 5 dates a week, I would put
Just a regular
just a
casual.
cute
A regular old average of 5
average
a week.
5 a week. Yeah, you have to
like
save
a normal
2 for
gym
your
schedule.
friends. Exactly. I would have trouble remembering who I was meeting and their stories. So in their contacts, there's a notes section in your iPhone, listener, and I'd add where we went and like 1 tidbit of information. So
It's
I
a
could
good rat
jot.
tip.
It's a great rat hack.
I put in my contact of guys I'm dating their height and location. All right, Allie, what's next? Allie doesn't save numbers. For the record, Allie will be talking to a man for 3 months before saving his goddamn contact. Also, she lets them call her Elisa, not Allie, for like 6 months before she's like, oh, actually, I go by Allie.
Yeah.
So it's already embedded in their brain that
Like, literally, no
they've
one
jerked
calls her
off
that.
thinking like, oh, Elisa.
No one calls Allie Elisa except a man she has not committed
Or
to.
people at the gym. Because I sign up with my legal name.
You could just... Okay.
No, I told somebody at the gym one time after a year of them calling, I was like, look, it doesn't bother me. But it's starting to. My name's Allie. And they were like,
Did you ever introduce yourself?
No.
Then it shouldn't bother you. That's your fault.
It is your fault.
And I went to tell
just
them.
on her dating apps it says Elisa, which literally no one calls you.
I think now it says Allie when I created my burner accounts.
Anyway.
Hinge won't let me back in. I'm trying to get back in. They won't let me now.
You can have mine. I don't want it. I don't think that's how it works.
I'm just curious to see what's on there. Okay, so the next
Just a lot of trash.
The next one's the red receipt of doom.
Oh my god, I hate read
So this is when
receipts.
people who have read receipts read messages but never respond. And I said I feel like this is just as bad as when you send a message and then someone thumbs ups it but doesn't respond.
That's mean.
So they acknowledge that they've seen it. You do this, but in a way that I know that's how you respond to messages. I'm talking about specifically if you're dating someone.
My acknowledgement, even with piece of shit who I'm dating, I just thumbs up it or heart it, and that is
but that's
acknowledged.
how you that's part of your communication style.
a heart is better than a thumbs up.
Like the dad, for example, I'll be like, hey, how's your day? And he'll just like it. And then I don't get anything back. And I'm like, so you're on your phone.
That's
am I
like
supposed
just
to take
being
that as good?
I'm here, I acknowledge you, but I don't have time to respond. That's
Yeah.
what I think. But I think that's dumb. So
I think people are too fucking sensitive and are like, wait, I got a thumbs up.
I hate read receipts so much. I have this one guy who you all absolutely hate on my roster.
I hate him.
But he has read receipts, and the thing that he does that drives me crazy, and I've told him this, I've been like, I don't want read receipts, get rid of those. And he's like, no, I want you to know whether or not I've read it. And I'm like, that's weird, we aren't dating.
The fuck?
Okay, but what he'll do is he will leave it unread like an email. He'll mark it unread so it doesn't say read, and then he'll respond 2 days later, immediately read it, then respond. He's treating his text like emails.
That's how I treat my
That's
text.
how I treat mine too.
I do too with people who I'm not fucking with. That's crazy.
He finds more and more ways for me to absolutely dislike this man.
He's really fucked up. He must have daddy or mommy issues.
Oh yeah, I hit him up the other night while I was blackout.
What?
He was like, I was in Brooklyn with you. I was like, oh, I'm out. Are you out? Kind of I just hit him with a you up kind of thing. And then he was like, yeah, come over, come home, blah, blah, blah. And I just ignored it, never responded. And we have read receipts, so he knows I read it.
I did that with that tall guy that I found on LinkedIn. He's back.
That guy's back in the mix.
No, not really.
Not really.
You just drunk texted
I
him.
just texted. He texted back. Remember, you were holding my phone and you were like, "What the fuck?"
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's so hot. Okay. And then there's the vague excuse Olympics.
Oh.
That's
So-
annoying.
This
Is
is
that
awarding
not-
medals for the most creatively vague and unconvincing excuses for disappearing.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my god.
Also,
Men.
Allie's trick. She has the most shit vague excuses, I don't know, killing off your fake brother.
That wasn't for dating purposes. That was
That's
for
not
work
that vague.
purposes. And I got specific. He had a heart disease, and I listed the hospital that he was getting treated at. So
He had a ziplining accident that led to heart disease.
Yeah,
It was
'cause-
really specific.
God
he fell
damn
on
it,
a
Allie.
rock and got some sort of bacterial. It's honestly really sad. I don't know why you're making fun of it.
Listener, we just want to re-emphasize Allie has no brother.
Because he's dead.
No, it was never a brother.
She made this all up.
She
No,
made
my
him
mom.
up
My
just to
mom
kill him.
is so on board with this. She thinks it's the funniest thing I've ever done.
What was his name?
Jacob.
You didn't know that?
Back to vague breakup things. Guys are the worst about this.
Oh, yeah.
Men are so much worse than women.
It's 'cause they
Guys
don't
will
know
be
how to communicate.
I lost my phone. Or they're like, all my contacts got deleted. What? Then how did you find me? Why
you
are you
hit
texting
me
me
up.
now?
I feel like their vagueness is always more well, I don't know what I'm doing this weekend, so I'll get back to you. Or my biggest frustration with a partner would be let's play it by ear. No. We're in a committed
That
relationship.
drives me crazy. Just
In a committed relationship saying, let's play it by ear.
use a fucking calendar. Okay, let me hit you with, this is a little off topic, but this lights me on fire, this thing this one guy did to me. We made plans for 2 days later, Tuesday night, let's go out. Not a specific time or place, though. Already I'm annoyed. And then Tuesday rolls around. He doesn't text me all day. 0 texts all day. 10 p.m., he sends me a question mark. Just a question mark. And I go, is this your way of asking me out? Because you never made
With
a plan.
plans?
And he's like, well, I'm just confused because you never hit me up.
Oh,
So
my
I
God.
was supposed to just
What?
get ready for a date that's not confirmed and then reach out and be like, where are
I'm
you
ready.
taking me? I'm ready for you. No! Send me a time and place. He just sends question mark.
That's a virgin.
Virgin. But the other thing about that guy is after I went off on that guy and I was like, yeah, that's not really how you arrange a date, he hit me with, I don't know what you're used to, but I'm not like other guys, and I'm not going to chase you. And I was like,
Oh my God,
with the
another
chasing.
chaser.
Get out of here.
bye. You boys are pussies.
Such a puss.
That's like Allie's guy being like, I'm not gonna endlessly chase you. What? This isn't a chase.
It's not
I
endlessly
need a-
chase. It's send a time and place.
in a
That's
way,
what-
we're chasing you because we're.
I mean, did
Right.
they expect you to just stand outside of your apartment and go, I'm here, hello,
Hello,
help me."
where's my date? When do
Yeah,
I
you
go?
just stand
Also, most guys would take like a follow up to be clingy these days. You know what I mean? To be like, hey, are we still
Right.
meeting tonight?
Yeah,
Like,
I'll just do something else.
That sparked something what Allie just said. So men used to complain all the time about how women are so clingy and needy.
And now
It's
we're not.
because we need a date and time, and now we're like, okay, fuck
Fine.
this. We're not gonna
I have
beg
a million
for...
other things to do.
Right.
So
and a
Whatever.
million
I'm not
other
gonna
men
be
to
cl-
do.
right.
So now they're like, now they don't know how to just address a date.
I'm like,
Also, 10 o'clock. He's in at 10.
right.
Right, that's a booty
Right.
call at that
10
point.
o'clock.
Have some fucking dignity for yourself, dude, and just not respond
Just
or
take the
respond the
L.
next day and be like, hey, I don't know if our
Something
paths got
happened.
like miscrossed or whatever.
Like I was hoping you'd text me something. Don't just
Yeah.
go question mark. These boys.
In the reverse, though, you did do this to someone where they named a time and place, but you hadn't heard from them.
I want to put this on record of exactly what happened. I planned a date with a man. He named a time and place for the next day. It was 7 p.m. Pineapple Club. He said, can you do 7 p.m. Pineapple Club? I said, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah, I could do that. Radio silence. So the next day, no message, no nothing. He didn't like it. He didn't thumbs up it. No confirmation. All I said was, I could do that. Roll around 7 p.m. Pineapple Club. He texts me and is like, I'm at the bar, and I was fully in bed with another man. Literally, I was fully.
What did you say?
I went on a full ass date. I was like, dude, it didn't even occur to me that we were confirmed. I literally thought you ghosted me.
And okay, here's the...
I actually really like him.
Yeah.
Is he still around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the reason why you like him is because you profusely apologized and you were like, I'm so sorry. I did not think we were going out. I didn't get an acknowledgement. Like a grown-ass man, he went back, read the text, consulted with a friend, and reflected and was
Yeah.
like, oh, that makes sense. I apologize. I should have acknowledged.
His friend was like, yeah, you should have at least liked it. And he was like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Another thing I like about him.
Both apologized, like Nora and the man. They reflected on the conversation and moved forward, and are now enjoying their time together.
Also, another thing I like about him, which a lot of girls would not like this, when he showed up at the bar without the confirmation, showed up, had a drink at the bar. I'm like, dude, I'm in bed. I'm not coming. You know what he did? Had 2 drinks and asked a girl out at the bar next to him. Good for him.
Yeah.
That's how
That's
you handle
amazing.
it.
Very cute.
And they went out. It didn't work out, but still, good.
I love that just shows such a secure man. Confidence. He chatted with the bartender, had a nice time, ended up chatting with a woman at the bar, got
And
her
it's not
number,
like he
went
threw
out.
this in my face. I asked.
And that's what you should do. Just
Right.
get back on the horse.
Back on that horse.
Pummel.
Go on,
Pummel
Allie.
horse.
Sorry.
Why?
I'm just.
No,
I'm
this
riled
is
about
great.
the question
This
mark.
is-
She's had a lot of coffee today, listening.
I've had a lot of coffee.
I thought you didn't need more bean.
Well, I had it.
Okay, so then I was like, is there anything worse than ghosting and dating?
Yes.
Well, what is cheating, rape, murder? What?
No, we're in the context of ghosting.
Okay. Worse than ghosting. I think straight up ghosting is probably the worst.
Okay,
Or
but
you could
there's
be
layers of
mean.
ghosting. Besides what Allie's just gone over, let's say you and your boyfriend live together and the boyfriend just moves out
That's a big
without
ghost.
anything.
And
just
I'd like
takes
to
his
put
stuff.
this on record. If I ever get cheated on, that's exactly what I'm fucking doing. And I told Allie to do it too, and she did not.
Right.
She went the other
You know
direction.
what?
She stayed longer.
Let's
She
not
moved
live in the
right
past.
back in.
She bought a condo.
She was like, where can I pay my half of the mortgage?
Lost a lot of money on that mortgage, you guys.
I know.
Let's not live in the past. I agree, though. That's fucked up. You should do that moving forward. I agree, though. There's different layers because I feel like ghosting is fine if, you went on a bad date one time and it wasn't really good. Like, there was no spark there. You're not really talking. And, like, 3 days go by, they reach out again. I feel like it's fine to be like...
Here's where I will pause. I do think that women who got their date paid for shouldn't ghost. I think that if you go on one date and they buy you a nice dinner, a couple drinks, you should at least be like, I don't want to see you again. Thanks for the night. But I don't think you should straight ghost after that.
Think about ghosting back in, like, the 60s. I mean, you would go out, get a drink paid for, and then...
That's true.
You don't have to answer the phone ever again.
I mean, you're right. You don't owe them anything for sure. I do believe that, but I do think it's somewhat polite to at least thank them for dinner, and then you can ghost them.
No, you should for sure thank them.
And owing that my argument is, because I do think regardless of how many dates you went on, how good or bad it was, unless it's like take away like the disrespectful, scary type dates where just block them if you don't feel safe. But just a normal average date, I think it's not you owe them that, it's you owe yourself that, because I do believe you put out really nasty bad juju, and this is coming from someone who blocked 55 numbers. I think that like you're putting yourself up for that same type of
Nothing
behavior.
could be truer, because I feel that so hard.
Right?
Your karma's catching
My
up
karma
with you.
has been hitting me for years. I feel like I was thinking about this, that guy that took me on those like 3 dates and each dinner was like $400 and I really didn't like him. I did send a breakup text, but then I immediately blocked him because I didn't have the balls to receive his response.
That's just as bad.
You think?
That's like kind of worse.
So cowardly.
To say like, hey, sorry, you're really great, not for me, enjoy your life. Like, even if he responded, what am I supposed to do with that?
I mean, here's the thing. I think women are kind of prepared to get a nasty text back because men don't handle rejection well,
They
generally.
really don't.
And they'll be like, you're a slut, you're a bitch.
You're
like,
fat anyway. I've heard that one.
Yep.
Thanks,
heard 'em
guys.
Heard them all. Like, they just suck, man. So I get it, but I don't know.
To be fair, it was like right after me and Rave Daddy had broken up, and I was dealing with a lot of trauma from him not handling things that I said to him too well.
That's
and now I
fair.
think I've grown.
Once again, our bar is so low because every time one of us sends a breakup text and the guy literally responds like, no worries, like, wish you the best, we're like, he took it so well. Because what we expect is like, oh, well, fuck you, like, you're ugly, you're a whore, like, I didn't like this, and this about you. Like, that's how they normally
You're dramatic,
respond.
you're retarded, I hate you, get out of my house.
All quotes from an ex.
That was a direct quote, listener. She just,
She doesn't say those words. Someone else did to her.
Someone else did.
There was this thing called curving that they said was worse than ghosting.
Oh.
Which is interesting because I feel like the next 4 things that I have listed here are pretty much all the same as things that we've previously talked about, but they all go together. So they say curving is maintaining intermittent, inconsistent, and often delayed communication.
Breadcrumbing.
So yeah, they also list breadcrumbing from the inconsistent piece of things, which can create obviously false sense of hope and prolong emotional limbo for the person being curved. And then they also listed orbiting, which is interesting because it's social media interactions only. So
I hate
not
that.
like commenting,
DMing.
but liking.
That's infuriating.
Viewing your story.
Viewing
just
your
like,
story is weird.
yeah, showing just
Talking to you
enough
old balls. Stop
interest.
it.
Is he still doing that?
Every time.
He
every day.
definitely doesn't know that she can tell.
He doesn't know it. You can tell because I've told him that one time and he was like, no way. That's not a thing.
I don't have social media, but I can say this is one reason I don't. It would absolutely infuriate me to no end if people like watched my story and like liked my shit and
had no engagement in your life.
And didn't like make a plan to hang out with me.
Right.
What you doing?
Orbiting. Okay, that's a new one
hate
for
that.
me. I don't like it.
I hate it.
What else? What else you got?
Love bombing.
Is that
They said it's
relevant?
worse than ghosting in dating specifically because you gain people's trust and their commitment, and then it's used as like a tactic of manipulation.
Yeah. So I think that's happening to me right now.
Yeah, you didn't
certain-
have to say the name. I knew.
Yeah. Which I'm just staying out of it.
Okay, so I was first going to argue that love bombing is in a completely different world of like apples and oranges between that and ghosting. But how you phrased it, their intention is to eventually leave you.
See that.
Like they plan on exiting.
Or they might not know it's intentional, but there is some sort of malice with it because it's obviously making up for something else that's lacking.
I see.
Yes. I was thinking, what does this have to do with the ghosting? But I am thinking about like texting relationships, and some people really do like blow you up with love bombing very early on.
And then either never meet or just let it
That's
die.
one of the weirdest ones. They'll like
is.
really be all about you, and then they never make a plan to show up. It's like, how many people are you talking like
that's
this
what
to?
our previous colleague of 7 years prior is doing to one of my friends now. They match. So we have a colleague from like 7 years ago that's now matched with one of my gym friends. And they've been talking for like a year. But she's been in like other relationships because she's not waiting around for him. He was dealing with some personal issues, if you will. It was like, can I read your messages? Because I'm a curious, nosy bitch. And she was like, sure. I was reading through them, but he love bombed the fuck out of her. Like, she was like, hey, thanks for sharing your story with me. Like, you know, I hope this isn't too much to say, but like, I'd love to hear how you're feeling. Like, blah, blah, blah. I was trying to be nice. She was a super, super, super empathetic person. And he was like, no, that's exactly what I would want out of my future wife. Like, thank you so much for asking. And that's like, you know,
And
like for any
met.
woman that wants to get married as
You
an
would
end goal.
see that as like
You'd be
a green flag.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't, but I
So
see
he's
why
been
people
doing
would.
shit like that for like a full year, but then he'll do like the disappearing act kind of thing where she'll be like, okay, I'm excited for you to take me out. Like, what day works for you? And then he won't respond for 2 days. And then I'll be like, next weekend?
Oh my God.
Bitch.
A guy called me a whore once because, and this goes back to guys not being able to face rejection, which I didn't even reject him. He was doing that to me, basically. He would text me every few weeks. I'd text him back, hey, how's it going, blah, 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 small talk. And then I would always be like, when do you want to meet? Do you want to go out this Tuesday? Do you want to do this? Put
Very
a time.
slutty.
Because what do I want? A pen pal? I don't know you. We've never met. And you know what bothers me even more? When they want to sext. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm attracted to you. Anyway, I would always, every time we talked, I'd be like, so do you want to hang out? And he would always avoid it. And then one time I did the same thing, and he goes, I forgot how transactional you are. You're just a whore. And I'm like, okay, well,
I wish that
literally
was in
laughed.
person so you could slap that
I
man in the
literally
face.
laughed. I was like, yep, I'm a whore because I want to actually meet. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Virgin.
Anyway, any other ghosting instances, grievances we want to get off our chest today, ladies?
million.
I beg the rats to no longer ghost unless you're in a dangerous situation where the person is just nasty and violent. Besides that, or if they cheat, then ghost their ass so hard that it breaks their little bitch ass heart. But yeah, it's 2025. Tell them why you want to break up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I beg of the rats for our 2025 New Year We Hate Men goals. Let's tell them what they did wrong. Let's give them feedback.
Amazing. All right,
Cha-ching.
rats. We'll see you later.
We'll ghost you later.
Rats, we promise we will never ghost you.
As always, thanks for listening. If you're interested in even more bad advice, scurry on over to Instagram and TikTok at Bad Advice Only NYC. We're begging you. Download and rate the show and leave us a review. Talk to you next Monday. Stay tuned, rats.